now. For as a result of confusing the real world of nature with mere signs such as money, stocks and bonds, title deeds, and so forth, we are destroying nature. This is a disaster. Time to wake up. For what is reality? Obviously, no one can say. Reality isn't material, that's just an idea. Reality isn't spiritual, that's just an idea. Reality is...
Peace. You're tuned into On Beat with Ohlow, coming to you live from Radio Fairfax here in Fairfax, VA. I've got a full studio here, man. I've got my man Radio Rahim, who was here last week for the Cypher. We got my man JT. What's going on, JT?
Good to be back.
We've got good to be back. It's your first time. What are you talking about, man? Got my man Natural E.
What up, world?
What's going on? Got my man Paki in the cut. I can't even see you over there behind the screen, man.
Salam, fam.
Peace. And then we got my man ooCyn
Peace.
To my right.
Peace.
My
Salam,
right-hand
everybody.
man. So peace. What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to do something different. More talking, less music. I hope everybody was able to tune in last week and get to hear E and Radio Rahim and a few other MCs just going raw, man. We had a nice cypher last week. But this week we're going to flip it, man. We're going to talk about revolution and what it means to you and if you're part of it. You know what I'm saying? So we'll start with my man, Radio Rahim, because you got an event coming up. Tell us about that.
No doubt, man. First, I want to give a big shout out to djOHLOW on beat out here. He's doing a lot of great things, and it's because of people like djOHLOW that we have outlets for true school hip hop and then also real movements within the community. So big shout out, man, brother. Thank you so much.
Appreciate
man.
that, man. That's what it's
appreciate
about, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the community, man. It's all about the people. And at the end of the day, it's about the babies, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say,
No
man,
doubt.
like I just want to make sure my son has a good head on his shoulders. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But talk to us, man. Tell us about
Absolutely,
revolution, man.
Yeah, so
Revolution.
along that same line of community and family and hip hop and revolution, we got an event coming up that we put together called Viva la Revolucion, and it's going down April 11th, Thursday, April 11th at Tropicalia, DC. That's at the corner of 14th and U. And the thing that motivated this really were a series of events that occurred, social political events that occurred within South America. The biggest being the passing of Hugo Chavez, who was kind of monumental for Venezuelan recent history in Venezuela. On April 11th, 2002, there was attempted coup d'etat, which was supported by Western foreign elements to kind of like oust Hugo Chavez. Fortunately, what they called the Bolivarian revolution succeeded, and they toppled those foreign elements and kicked them back outside of their country, and the people won, actually. So we're doing it it's coinciding on that same day, April 11th. And so we have a list of really talented...
11 years later, huh?
Yeah, actually.
That's what's up, man.
That is, I didn't even think about it. It is 11 years later, man. So we have a cast of really dope artivists is what I call them. They're activists and artivists coming out. And first, the headlining act is the Cornel West Theory, who, of course, are fully supported and endorsed by Dr. Cornel West. My homies Leftists are coming, and both of these are bands, full 5-piece bands. Actually, Cornel West Theory, they have 8 full members, and they're a mix of electronic, hip-hop, and rock, and they're just extremely talented. But again, the core of their lyrical delivery is always talking about social injustice or commentary upon the imbalance within the society that we live in immediately.
So they're more conscious. They're not all bling bling.
they're anti-skinny jean.
They're anti
music.
bling.
That's
bling.
what I call it. Anti-skinny jean
Yeah,
music.
that's what's up. I guess I can't say bling bling anymore. That's old now, huh? Nobody's bling bling anymore.
Yeah, it's
but that's
swag,
what I call all that.
swag rap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like all that trap and all that whatever that. I just call it garbage. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. I mean, in my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, man. You know what I'm saying? You guys can keep that music, man. You know what I mean? I like I like real. Well, look, let's talk about this, man. What is real, man? Because when I think of real hip hop, I think of revolutionary hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I think of the type of hip hop that breaks the boundaries, goes against the grain, and I think that's the type of artist that you're working with, right?
Absolutely. I've always worked with artists like that. And that's that myself. You know, I was born here in the Washington, D.C. area. I was raised during the 80s and early 90s in the area where...
Crack era.
Crack era, exactly. If you were anyone who lived in the DMV area, you knew that all these neighborhoods were infested with crack, just regular neighborhoods. And it was a very normal thing for us. That was a period of Reaganomics, too. And the safest place was only that building at across Pennsylvania Avenue known as the White House. That was the safest place in Washington, D.C. at the time frame. And as things years went on, a lot of these crack neighborhoods have turned into meth neighborhoods. And
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, exactly. But revolutionary hip hop is...
Look, man, I don't mean to cut you off, but I mean, all that stuff that you're talking about, it just goes back to the commerce behind it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's big money behind all that stuff, man. And that's just real talk, man. You know, I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into all that. That's another topic. That's another show. But revolution, man.
So revolution and hip hop, they go hand in hand. Why? Because hip hop was born as an outlet to be something, an activity for a community. You know, spinning in the South Bronx to have a good time and keep kids away from going out to the streets. To me, that's a very revolutionary act. Expressing your feelings lyrically is a revolutionary act. Breaking down on the linoleum is a revolutionary act to me. And all of that was going against pop culture at the time, going against the grain, so to speak. And it was not accepted by mainstream America for a very long time. To me, that's very revolutionary. Hip-hop, at the base of hip-hop, is always going to be this authenticity to do things original with an original style, regardless of what mainstream America thinks, regardless of what pop culture thinks. But also another very crucial aspect of hip-hop culture that you must consider as well, especially in the context of being revolutionary, is the originators of hip-hop music were African American. So that a minority group, African American, Latin Americans, came together and created this culture that did not exist previously to express themselves, this self-expression. And to me, that's extremely revolutionary, and we have to look at that. And some of the originating members of hip hop culture, if you look at their lyricism, the albums, the content they were talking about, it was all about social justice. It was all about social matters. Unfortunately, a lot of those originators are not looked at in the limelight. Like
goes back to commerce, man. They stopped selling. You know what I'm saying? The whole, the conscious shift at that time was far right. You know what I'm saying? And now it's gone. And then it went far left. And now it's kind of coming back.
Like again. the first pop hip hop song, I think. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Anyone? I think was it Sugar Hill Gang was the first, right? To go pop?
I think that's
mainstream.
In the mainstream. That's the one that's known. Yeah. But I mean, I guess hip hop. The first rap song or first hip hop or whatever is different to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because Muhammad Ali was rapping, you know what I'm saying? And like he's the one that kind of started, even though he wasn't a recording artist, he kind of was in a sense, you know what I mean? Because people were still looking for him on TV and on radio or whatever, and he would come out and spit, you know what I mean? Go ahead, E. What's good, E?
When I'm thinking about, and I love what Rahim's saying about hip hop, just fills my heart with more love for hip hop and what it can do. Different people delivering their insight and perception, raising awareness. I think about the song The Message, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, like every lyric, like what they were talking about, and
it was so real, yeah.
So conscious,
yeah.
But and
see,
also,
that changed everything again too, because I was later in time. You know what I'm saying?
And also thinking about Gil Scott-Heron, the late great Gil Scott-Heron.
Yeah, see, another rapper.
One of the godfathers of so much of this soulful
James Brown.
poetry.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Godfather for real. Stay on that mic, man, so everybody can hear you.
Yeah, that is the Godfather.
Yeah,
hip-hop, James Brown.
That's what I'm saying, man. Not to cut you off, man, but I want to talk to my man JT.
Hello.
JT, what's good, man? You know a lot about Revolution, man. You were part of the Occupy DC movement.
Yeah. Occupy DC.
2010.
Twin city to Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah, that's what's up,
Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Sorry, Twin City to
Twin
New
City.
York.
Oh, gotcha,
yeah, no,
gotcha.
man, that's the two biggest heads of the beast. Implementable set of ideas and policies and everything that's going to take us forward. And I think that that's a dangerous way to think. I think that we can't really, we're not really going to be able to collectively find the way forward until a lot of the forces that are active in our culture, in our life, are shut down.
Like what,
Or
though?
if
Tell
not
us
shut
what.
down, at least less powerful. I mean, the banks, straight up, man. Like, first of all, the banks. There's the banks.
Too
and
much
there's-
power,
There's
huh?
pretty much everything else that flows from the banks,
Which is everything, basically, yeah.
And that's man, that's not it's getting to the point where, like, all right, we've been carried for these like hundreds of years or whatever with these assumptions about like what banks can and can't do and like how
It's
much.
a state of mind, man. You know,
Yeah.
like I think our generation is more hip to what's really going on, but our parents' generation and our grandparents' generation were really duped into that way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? Of security and putting your money in the bank and the FDIC and all that stuff. So it's in my opinion, it's slowly breaking down, man. Because when
baby steps.
yeah, exactly. It's all baby steps, man. But it's the whole Bernanke thing, the exposure, the corruption, like it's been exposed, man, and the people want it to stop. And so that's the first step, man, is just exposing it. You know what I mean? And getting the information out there. And that's what you guys are doing, man. And I have to say I appreciate you guys, man, because you guys have the balls to get up and do this.
You got the station, man, putting us
Indeed.
out, man. It's a community effort,
that's
homie.
what's up, man. But
what's
you
up.
know, you guys are the ones that are out there in the streets, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is easy coming over here and doing this. This is like all day.
You say it's easy, man, but this is an important part, dude. Community culture is the antidote to commercial culture.
Yeah.
And everything that's going on here, like this today, and everything that it's related
Grassroots.
to. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, man, that's what's up, man. On that note, I'm gonna go into a track by my man Rahim. Line this one up for us, man. This is I'm gonna get into Rise, which is off of the album Let the People Know, which you just gave me, man. You blessed me with this album. This is dope.
You
I love
enjoy
the
it, man.
artwork,
No
man.
doubt. I hope you enjoy it, man.
I opened it up and like I see Malcolm and all these stickers drop out. So this is ill, man. Good work,
Word,
man.
I hope you enjoy it, man.
Tell us about Rise, man. I'm about
Yeah,
to play
so Rise, this is Let the People Know is a project that I completed in 2010. We released it in 2011, and I did it with my homie Panic, who's with the Moment crew out of Chicago, Illinois. The focus of the song was just kind of like what we were just talking about, was raising awareness, commentary on social imbalance, social issues, just from an everyday perspective. Me, just an everyday taxpayer, and just some of those frustrations, sharing those. That's what motivated me to do the song. And at the end of it, it's called Rise, but it's entitled, is to motivate people. Hey, why are we sitting around watching this? We need to get off, and get on our feet and stand up now. We don't need to wait on a group. We don't need to wait on anyone. We need to take the power ourselves.
That's what's up, man. That's true words, man. You know what I'm saying? It's within all of us to make a change, man. It starts with each individual, man. You're right. So that's what's up, man. This is On Beat with Ohlow, coming to you live from Radio Fairfax, here in Fairfax, VA.
My people is top to rise up.
Peace. This is djOHLOW. You're tuned in to On Beat with Ohlow, coming to you live from Radio Fairfax, here in Fairfax, VA. And you just heard Rise, which is my man Radio Rahim. Tell us about that track a little bit more, man. Like, you have a lot to say on that track, man.
Yeah, it's
You know what I mean?
I was just combining frustrations, that I had with, and this is pre-Occupy time frame. This is 2010 that I actually wrote that. But at that time frame, that was the build up to Occupy. How many decades have we been dealing with the same drama from this country? The same, exploitation, the same backwardness when it comes to banking, when it comes to politics, when it comes to social law and order, just a lot of corruption from head to toe. And
Corruption, man, everywhere, all over the world,
everywhere.
man. It's not just here, man. It's everywhere, man.
No,
all
yeah,
these other countries that people call third world countries and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
absolutely.
It's crazy corruption. That's why they're stuck in the third world, man. That's why, like I Man, I can't even, again, I don't want to, go too far into it, man, because I don't want to start to
It's
let it all
it's
out.
a rabbit hole, man. It's
Yeah.
just corruption begets corruption. You got this system, and it's self-perpetuating.
That's
It's
what it
hard.
is, man.
hard.
It's
hard.
like,
That's
even
exactly-
the people who are out for the good can't even really get ahead because there's so much corruption, and they have to, in a sense, deal with corrupt people and do things to get ahead and get their agenda, you know what I'm saying, out. But again, that's just my opinion, man. Ooh, you being real quiet, man. What's good? We got your man Paki here too. What's good, man? What do y'all think, man? What's revolution, man? Ooh, go ahead. Ooh, let me talk to you first, man.
Yeah.
Don't try to walk away. Ooh's always trying to get off the mic. He's always trying to get away from the camera.
You know what I'm saying?
Not tonight, man. Tell us. What's
Yeah,
revolution mean to you, man?
Revolution to me is just it's going around in a circle. Like if you break it down, you got revolution. Revolution is going in a circle. You know what I mean? So, like basically, it's movement. You know what I mean? So.
Well, you're right. By definition, revolution is to come back, to go in a circle and come back to the starting point.
Exactly.
That's revolution. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah. And so, my take on it, it's there's a lot of elements to revolution because right now the way we're talking about it right now, it's I see it as change. You know what I'm saying? And through change, there's a lot of facets to make that happen. And one thing that I've noticed is that it's like a lot of disdain for like corporations in this talk. And when we start talking about this, but it's like the corporate game, it's a part of the game. It's like corporations aren't evil. Corporation is a soulless entity. It's a paper entity created, you know what I'm saying, on paper. But where the corruption comes in is the people that operate and control the corporations, right? So when we have grassroots movements and things like that, it needs funding. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have bread to fund anything that you're trying to do. That's just a necessary evil. If you want to call it evil, I don't even think it's evil. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. It's
the way of the world, man.
It's energy
Commerce.
because you gotta think of money as energy. It's currency. It's electricity. You know what I'm saying? You gotta think it's metaphysical principles when you talk about things like this. So corporations aren't evil, in my opinion, and money's not evil because if you're going to have an organization that's going to counterbalance things and like make change and all that stuff, you're going to have funding, and you got to do it through entities. Now, with movements and things like that, you gotta come at it in multiple facets. You can't just have like rallies. You just can't have like media. Like you gotta have a holistic approach to this stuff. So, like one thing that with the Occupy movements, what happened? I didn't hear a lot about like civil suits being put in, criminal suits being put in, and there could have been. And if it was, there wasn't a lot of light shined on those type of things. But I would have liked to seen some civil suits being put in, right? Have that emotion, and then have the rallies and the mass gatherings to bring attention to those suits that were put in, and then have the media attention around, drawing attention to civil
All right,
suits.
hold on,
and
man. Let
things
me
like
stop
that.
you for a minute, man.
Go
'cause
ahead.
In your opinion,
Mhm.
in your
That's my
opinion only, do you think that Occupy DC and Occupy Wall Street worked?
Yes and no. I mean,
Tell us no first.
I'm gonna tell
us-
you no because for the reasons I just said. But I think it's a start. You gotta start somewhere, and I think people can see what was successful about those things, and people can say what wasn't successful. So the next time it happens, it's more organized, and those they can just improve whatever. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like I said, it's yes and
Like
no.
JT said, baby steps. You got to start
Baby
somewhere.
steps. You know what I'm saying. You gotta start somewhere. You know what I'm saying. But it's
And
good.
What do you have to say yes about? What do you think did? What was
because
the good
people
outcome?
people actually did for once. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get off the butt, get off the couch, stop being Homer Simpson and Al Bundy, and really did something.
Yeah.
People really took it seriously and really sacrificed things. Which, if you talk about revolution, this is one thing you gotta do is sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like this. It's like you know, some people have balls and some people don't. You know what I'm saying? But those people that don't have balls don't mean they're important. They're not important because they might be computer geniuses or something like that, or versed in other things that can help. see what I'm saying? Not
Not
everybody.
only that, but just musicians, man. People forget that music is revolution too. You know what I'm saying? Because people forget, people like Bob Marley, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? He was a revolutionary, man. You know what I mean? He didn't have to go to war. He didn't wage war on anybody. He fought you with his love. You know what I'm saying? And that's a different type of revolution, man. And that's
I
the
agree.
whole thing, is that there's different types of revolutions,
I
man.
agree with you, but I was kind of like camelbacking off the previous dialogue that was going on in the show because you said I was quiet and I didn't want to interrupt. So
All right.
I was just recapping. Just like I said, it runs the gamut. Like, there's a lot of interpretations of revolution, and you're right about Bob Marley too, because he said, "I'm gonna win the world over by injecting them with love."
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying,
So
man.
that was good because love is infectious.
And see, that's the whole thing, is that I think a lot of people have the wrong idea of what revolution is, because a lot of people just think like revolution going against the grain. I'm a rebel.
Yeah,
I'm
that's not it.
revolting. And that's what I'm saying. It's really not it at all, man.
That's not it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's multifaceted. And I know Paki's itching to get on the mic.
Yeah, what's good, my man Paki?
Yeah, peace.
Let me move this. Talk to us, man. I can't even see you though.
Yeah, my take on revolution in itself, it would be just the effort for people to even step to an adversary or a situation that's in opposition to, where we eventually try and get to or where we want to be. So, like, when we talk about movements like Occupy, we talk about all the small, quote-unquote, conscious niches that's trying to get into things. Like the brother was saying, we really do need people to start funding these programs because, like like he was saying,
Where does the money come from though? That's the big question, is where's the money come from?
money come from the people who is actually gonna benefit. See, because a lot of people don't know, like, these grassroots programs actually do put things back into the community via programs like the brother Rahim got going on over here. You know what I mean? You can show up to that, or anybody, fun. It's a lot of different various fundraising events, man.
I don't mean to interrupt, but corporations. I'm telling you, they're not all evil, dude. Like, let's, you know what I'm saying? All right, let's just say, for example, let's
go ahead. Take it from the top, man. Like, because I think, again, because we live at a time right now where people just follow trends, right? I mean, like, majorly. I mean, I guess it's always been like that, but right now it's like out of control. And I think a lot of people just think of corporations, just think of like Walmart, you know what I'm saying? Or they think of something, something huge like, the football league or the basketball league and these different things, these huge corporations. But break down what a corporation is, man, because you are a corporation owner yourself, right? But you're not a multi-millionaire. You're not a multi-billionaire. You're not I know what kind of car you got, ooh, you know what I'm saying?
True. Well, pretty much corporation is pretty much structured in various facets. You got S corps, you got LLCs, you got sole proprietorships. Pretty much, they're what I would call estates. They're just legal fictions that you use for a commercial purpose in order to do what it is in the interest of, say, the board members or the owner. So when a person has a sole proprietorship, that person is just saying, hey, he's the boss. He has his own quote unquote sovereignty. He doesn't take orders from nobody in order to get his, funds or whatnot. He's not clocking in no 9 to 5 or none of that stuff.
But that person still works just as hard, maybe even
Just
harder.
as hard.
Sometimes 3 times as hard as the person.
Yeah, you gotta pay to be the boss.
Yeah, exactly.
Really.
Yeah.
And
you got to do all the work, and you got to find the people that work for you too and make it happen.
Exactly. And
it's not as easy as just filling an application out and going in and just getting plugged in and then doing like a training course and that's it. You're in.
I'm gonna jump in real quick too. The whole the goal of a corporation, of a company, 9 times of a corporation is to make money. It is to make money.
You're right. I mean,
the goal is to make money.
That's
and
the goal.
Like Brother Oo said too, money's not the root of evil. It's people.
It's the heart of man.
People's intentions. You know
it's
what
the
I mean?
heart of man, man.
So there are good corporations
heart.
out there that serve to work to make money, and they're not doing. I'm sure they have bad people, and bad people made bad decisions. But the structure itself may not be a bunch of criminals on the board or up top. But a lot of corporations are. A lot of people.
Say that one more time, man. Nobody heard you.
Rothschild family.
Early
What year-
30s.
What? Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, man.
Federal Reserve was in 1914,
14, yeah.
16,
Yeah.
around then. And I mean, it's been it's been the same story ever since. It's large central banks benefiting
But-
from soft loans subsidized by the people of the country.
But it was a
basically.
battle to make the Federal Reserve in it.
Yeah,
It was.
it
It was.
There's like I always call it. There's been a constant covert war going on in our social political infrastructure, especially in politics. There's a covert war going on because there were politicians who were against the creation of the Federal Reserve
For plus 100 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Since
Now, absolutely.
since the quote unquote American Revolution.
Exactly. And I mean, the banking system is really an elaborate organization. I look at it as a bunch of criminals. The most organized mafia. It tops the mafia. They take out mafia. But I didn't mean to cut you off, man.
No, it's all right. But I mean, it's it all just comes down to what can I do, what kind of difference can I make, and that is really that's credit unions all the way, man. Like it's not going to be everything because the amount of like as a percentage, the amount of banks, like big banks, money, HSBC that comes from individuals is not that high. But if people take their money out of those banks, even though it's not that much money, what that does is eventually that's going to serve to kind of delegitimize these financial institutions, in that like they're not going to be able to go to congressmen and say like, oh, we bank with like such and such a percentage of this district and blah blah blah. No, like they're sure like they're going to be financing mining operations, logging operations, plastics plants, like all that kind of stuff. But they're not. They're not going to have anything to do with people who are just need someplace to put their cash and like draw it off from a Visa card, man. Because that's crazy, dude. HSBC. All the Mexican cartels that were hanging bodies from bridges, man. HSBC was their bank. Nobody went to jail. Nobody's gone to jail for any of this stuff, man. The crash in 08, 09, nothing.
Mafia.
I don't think any of these guys really do go to jail, man. They always have their get out of jail.
Yeah, man. It's 6 months
Cards,
and
man.
another year of community service, which
Yeah.
for them can be like like golf and cheese parties and.
Yeah.
and
On that note, man, let me just take a quick break for PSAs, and we'll be right back. This is On Beat with Ohlow, coming to you live from Radio Fairfax here in Fairfax, VA. We'll be right back. Peace. Peace. This is djOHLOW. You're tuned into On Beat with Ohlow, coming to you live from Radio Fairfax here in Fairfax, VA. I love this beat, man. Shouts out to Theory. I'm playing Theory beats again. I can't get enough of his beats, man.
Respect
I'm not gonna
Theory.
front. But we're here. We're not really playing too much music tonight. We're here. We're talking about revolution and what it means to you, and how you interpret the word and the action. I'm here with my man Radio Rahim.
Peace.
We're here with JT.
hey.
We're here with Natural E, who's been really quiet tonight too. We're here with my man Paki. Is it Paki?
Paki.
Paki. And my man ooCyn is in the cut. And I just got a few things written down here, man. Before I came to the show, I just wrote down a few things I wanted to say. And basically, revolution, to the best of my knowledge, came from the Latin word revolver, which means roll back, like what ooCyn was saying. And later became revolutio, which is the word that the French took, and which means overthrow. And it really meant to overthrow the government and replace it with the new government. And that comes from revolt, and revolt comes from the Italian word revoltere, and the French took that and they called it the same thing, revoltere, but I don't know how they say it, whatever. You know how the French talk. But that basically means to renounce your allegiance. So again, man, we're talking about revolution.
Hold on. Oh, what was that last part again? The last part of the etymology?
to renounce your allegiance.
Okay.
And
let
that's
me build on that real quick.
Go ahead, man.
All right. So one thing that I just like when you get into just studying, breaking down words and things like that, there's different venues that different words mean different things, right? So when we're just speaking connotatively, just homie to homie, whatever like that, people are like, man, I just want to be free, man. I just, you know what I'm saying? It's just liberation. You know what I'm saying? That means one thing, just like, homeboy to homeboy.
Is liberation freedom to you?
In a sense, because if you use the word in a legal framework, liberation means termination of contracts. You see what I'm saying? So, and things like minority is different.
Tell them what minority really means. Man.
So like in a social homeboy to homeboy venue, minority basically means like
person of color.
Yeah, it's
any
like
person of color. Anybody who's not white, basically.
Or anybody's not white, or just like as far as like mathematically, you know what I'm saying, percentage wise, if you're not in the 51%, if you're like 49 or below.
49.
It's like minority. But in a legal venue, a minority means that you're a minor in mentality, that you can't think for yourself. So you have quote unquote minority groups agreeing with that.
My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like you said, minority means that you're part of you're a minor, and to be a minor means that you can't
make
think
decisions
for yourself. You can't
exactly.
Make
so you need somebody to represent you. You see what I'm saying? So when you get into that, and so like through generation, through year after year, you have these quote unquote minority groups agreeing with that, calling themselves minorities. And then so when they go and want things, or like they're asking for things, or trying to get recognition in the world, not just the US, but I'm talking globally, they're looking at them like, yo, you're a minority. You can't think for yourself. So get out of here. Let me talk to the person that you got appointed to represent you. It's like, let me talk to your boss. Why am I talking to you? Basically, because they're agreeing with the minority. But see, on a homeboy venue,
everybody accepts it.
Everybody accepts it. But in a legal venue, which is international law as well, you know what I'm saying? When you get into citizenship and things like that, I mean, we don't really know how precious that is, because it's powerful, because you can't play with that thing, because going to different countries and things like that, like your citizenship is everything. That's how you're governed. That's how another jurisdiction is going to govern you, and is going to go by whatever like treaties they have with your nation and all that. That's how you're going to be governed. So when we got to be serious when we deal with those type of things. So I just want to bring that up because the end of when you was breaking down the etymology to the word revolution, like what was the end part again? You said like renounce allegiance. Right. So that's what I'm saying. That's key, because liberation it's termination of contract. Think about this. Think about like if you went away to school or whatever, like 17. Or like even if you didn't go away to school, like you quote unquote entered the real world, start working and whatever when you 17, 18, right? And so soon as you can start like signing contracts and things like that, you people be getting credit cards and things like that, and there it is, like you getting bound by those contracts. And some people are still getting bound down and contractually bound in the things that they didn't really comprehend when they were younger. But it's still, they were at the legal age to sign things, and it's still.
Well, see, that's how they get you. Is you have to sign.
No.
But that's the thing, though. In order for you to get with that thing, you have to sign.
Right.
You have to sign. You have to sign.
It's
that
voluntary.
Contract.
They're not getting.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
it's voluntary.
You're right.
But in a sense, they're leaving it up to you.
Right.
So you feel like you have to sign it, but there's always ways around it, man. And one of the ways it goes back. All right, go ahead. I was gonna say it just goes back to commerce, because if you set
commerce,
up, yeah.
But
all
see,
right,
I want to state the fact. I just want to make it clear that they're not getting you. You agree.
No, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
they're
right.
not getting you. They're not.
Right.
You're volunteering.
Cool.
You're volunteering yourself to
right.
become a victim to it, and that's what I meant. But what I was saying is one of the ways around that is to set up a corporation. You know what I'm saying? Is to go ahead, man. My fault.
Yeah. Pretty much. It falls back to the Roman maxim. He who chooses to be fooled, let him be fooled. And that's law. The things that we don't know, we need to come into knowledge of. especially in commercial venues, especially
in commercial venues,
domestic law, and civil law, business law. All those things that play when you have a corporation, any type of corporation. I myself, I have a LLC, but that's just something that I use in order to do business with.
Let people know what LLC stands for, man.
Limited liability.
And what does that mean exactly?
That pretty much is, well, it's almost self-explanatory.
It is. I mean, it is, but people don't know.
It's a shield in between yourself, your personal assets. It protects your personal assets in business interests. So, some of the things that you may have personally will be protected from should someone come after you in a legal action.
Exactly. So, for example, if you start a business and your business goes bad and somebody wants to sue your business, if you have your business set up as an LLC, they can't come after your personal property, your house, your car,
right?
Whatever your family owns, things like that. They can only go after the business, which is a separate entity. Because when you start a business, you have to get a tax ID, and when you get that tax ID, it's like your baby. It's like it's an entity of its own.
Correct.
And
that's your entity social security number.
Pretty much. Yeah, and you actually have you can actually get profiles for your business and all that stuff. Like it's you. Well, it's a extension of you within the public domain on a commercial level. That's it.
You said it perfectly, man. It's exactly what it is. That's what's up, man.
And I don't want to seem like we're getting off topic.
I was gonna say,
this is right in line, though.
No, it's all in line. No, it's because
yeah.
revolution. Look, all right. So revolution goes back to property. It goes back to commerce. It goes back the definition says that you come back to the starting point, which means that if there's a problem, you have to take it back, right? And so that's what the revolution is. People come together and they revolt for whatever reason. My bad, man. I got to switch these beats, man. These CD, I got to get back on the turntables, ooh. You know what I'm saying? Like, for those who don't know, man, check out, if you please, check out djOHLOW on the turntables, man, because this CD stuff ain't working for me, man. It's killing me, man. I really hate it. But I love Radio Fairfax, man. This is an awesome platform. And like you guys were saying earlier, man, this is what we need. And this is what it's here for, man. You know what I'm saying? And I know that people tune in. I don't know if anybody's tuned in right this second, but I know that people are tuned in. People do listen. People call me all the time. People email me, and this is the platform that we need to get this out. There's other platforms out there, but this one here, man, is something that is it's something that we need here in the Northern Virginia area. There's platforms in D.C. and in Maryland, but in Northern Virginia, there's nothing. So, much respect to Radio Fairfax and the public access. On that note, I'm going to take a quick break for another song by my man, Radio Rahim. If you could set this one up for us, it's called X Factor. Let us know about that.
Yeah, so X Factor is influenced by a series of events where good, respected community leaders, actually two of them were both in California, and then we had another friend in New York who were incarcerated over what it comes down to, just bogus charges. Fortunately, two of them have been released. One of them is still incarcerated. But it was also, I was motivated when I met the respective family of late El Hajj Malcolm Al-Shabazz. I got build a relationship with them, and that's what motivated me to do the song with my brother Musab. So we put the song together, but it's about right along the lines of revolution.
That's what's up, man. This is On Beat with Ohlow, coming to you live from Radio Fairfax here in Fairfax, VA. And we're about to get into X Factor, which is off of Radio Rahim's, is this your current album?
2011 album.
All right, so it's your current album, yeah. Let the people know.
I hope I haven't put anybody on the spot. I'm not intending to try and stir you up and make you do something that you wouldn't have done anyway.
Let the message circulate, increase the heart rate, take a second, vertebrates, start to concentrate. It's not shocking they locking up anyone who conversates about freedom and justice, concepts of Ohlow, the American nation, born from slave immigration.
You won't fear it. If he wasn't a coward, he wouldn't gang up on you. He wouldn't need to sit
Malcolm X always spoke the truth, man. You know what I'm saying? He's one of my favorite, one of my not only favorite, but he's one of the most inspirational people in my life. Coming up in the 90s, I read his book. I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, and it pretty much changed my view on life, man, for real. Really inspirational, man. But during the break, we were talking about revolution. Well, we've been talking about revolution the whole time, but we were talking about corporations and how they feed into revolutions and who funds revolutions. Where does the money come from? And we were just talking about corporations being good or bad, or being safe, being positive or negative or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But everyone in here was kind of like going back and forth, and everybody's quiet. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick, I want to jump in here. This is Radio Rahim. I was saying that I think kind of like there was a general concurrence that corporation is not in and of itself a bad thing at all. And it's the people who are running corporations who have wrong intentions and purposely do things that cause harm either to people or long story short, rob people, or cheat people or do something unjust. And that's really
an
what
example
I
is like a sweatshop or something like that.
A sweatshop's an example. Paying people
slave labor.
Slave labor, paying people below minimum wage.
Locking your janitors in.
Yeah, example. I also heard about this case. I was driving home the other night about McDonald's have this foreign exchange program, and like these kids came from I think El Salvador or something. They went to Pennsylvania
to work at McDonald's.
You hear about that?
No, but that's an amazing story.
But it was like they were foreign exchange students, right? And they thought it was like cultural exchange. They were gonna interact with American culture. And it was like 6 people living in a 1-bedroom little place, and McDonald's was taking money from their weekly cut, so they were getting below minimum wage. The only interaction they got was just a couple of times when they were working at McDonald's, and
flipping fries and burgers,
but just.
And they did it through the Mickey D's University, huh? Yeah, foreign exchange, Fez,
MDU.
They brought in Fez.
These things go on in the Asian population and once again the Latin countries as well. These people come over here with nice jobs. Heard of a Hindustan brother came over here, and he was like one of 10 people staying in like a 2-bedroom house situation where since he didn't know the law, he couldn't really press any civil complaints against the people who had pretty much got him in this situation. I worked with a Mexican who was in North Carolina at the time and got a job offer here for like a whole $2 more than what he had been making down in North Carolina. Upon getting here, they ended up dropping his pay $7, and he was stuck in the same situation, same predicament. But this is one of those things where we have to be, I would advise people to be proactive within the remedies for actually defending, your civil liberties, because you don't know, when these type of offenses will hit you. So you need to be ready for those things. You need to have your states prep.
See, you said I didn't mean to cut you off, but you said the best thing is because you just don't know when it's going to happen. So it's always best to be prepared the best you can, because you're never going to be fully prepared, man. We're not lawyers, you know what I'm saying? That's the main thing, is you have to have an attorney present, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, if you're going to go and try to fight anything, because it goes back to law. But it's best for everybody, for your personal sake, man, to just keep up, and not just with current events, but with laws, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they affect you. It's going to affect your kids. It's going to affect your commerce. It's going to affect your school. It's going to affect your health care, everything, man. And it's just my opinion, man. If you want to be stupid, do it. I mean, it's cool, man. Do what you got to do. Kill all your brain cells and do what you have to do. That's cool. But you're not going to get anywhere, man. And that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? The people who are out there, getting it for themselves, through commerce, through revolution, man. Again, revolution isn't just going out to the streets and taking arms and fighting, man. You know what I'm saying? There's different ways to revolt. These are the people who are going to, in my opinion, again, are the ones who are going to become successful and do something. And usually these are the people who start with nothing. So it's not like they have, too far back to fall. You know what I'm saying? And that's, they have, these people have heart, man. And, again,
no way but forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's future forward, man. You know what I'm saying? If that's the way you look at life, then if there's no looking back, then you should be good, man. In my opinion, again.
I'm gonna jump in real quick. I want to say something. Brother U had mentioned earlier too that when we were talking about the Occupy movement, that he wishes there were more like cases of brought up, cases started with specific goals and actions happening, and then the movement and hitting to the streets would raise more attention about that, so a goal would be accomplished. I know there were goals of the Occupy movement, and as we discussed, some were met, some weren't, and there were goods and positive negatives. But I think in lines with this as well, it's crucial that people educate themselves about their rights, law that we're all talking about. And then
know your rights.
Know your rights about everything, about from driving to making money to the job you have, because people, we live in a place anywhere, it's unfair to say just in America, but people will steamroll you in life.
Yeah, definitely.
People are going to steamroll you, whether it's at your job, whether it's the police officer, whether it's anybody. So if you know your rights, though, you can know the limitations and what people can and can't do, or if you just need to move on and revolt and go somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but at the same time, too, a lot of people, what I've seen, especially with police abuse, I've seen this since a very young age, is police are in a position where they can easily go overboard. And I've seen a lot of people's rights been abused, and they think they have to take it. And it's recently
out of fear. A lot of it
out of
is
fear,
tactics,
correct. And
man.
they think they're powerless. Like, oh, I can't do anything.
They're intimidated. People are easily intimidated, man. And that's why I was about to say the wrong word, man. Hook. You guys know what hook is?
No.
Look up hook. Hook is a word in Dari. It's Farsi. You know what hook is, right? You speak Farsi. Yeah, when the hook pull you over, man, look up what hook is. You'll know what I'm talking about. When they pull you over, they intimidate you, man, with their guns and their big flashy lights. And sometimes now they got these big trucks and stuff like that. It's all intimidation, man. And once you find that you can calm yourself and not be intimidated and speak freely and think freely, because when you start to get stressed out, when you're intimidated like that and they pull you over, you start to get stressed out. You can't think straight. You start to forget things. It's a big jamble, and that's what they want. That's what they feed on, man. But again, if you have the knowledge, if you know your rights, you can calm down. You can speak to them in a way where you can, dismantle the whole situation, whatever it may be, right there on the spot.
I mean, they might have
the
guns,
law, right?
but you still have to speak from a position of power, to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even just. It's just position of power is knowing your rights.
Knowing your rights,
exactly.
Yeah. And again, the same thing applies to a workplace scenario or in any
everywhere, even in
everywhere.
family, man. You know
knowing your rights,
family
knowing
abuse, man. That's another topic, another show. But family abuse, man, that's another thing that goes on all over the world, and people don't speak up. You know what I'm saying? And you have to know your rights, man. But on that note, man, I got to get out of here because they're gonna come in pretty soon. There's another show after me. This is On Beat with Ohlow, coming to you live from Radio Fairfax. Rahim, did you want to just plug in one more time how people can find you online?
I want to thank djOHLOW again, On Beat, for having us.
Out.
Access Fairfax
Public access.
Public access. I want to thank and actually we got to thank Verizon too for having us out here too, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, man. You don't have to.
Who made this dope studio, but we have Viva la Revolucion going down Thursday, April 11th at Tropicalia, DC. It's endorsed by Guerrilla Republic, DC. We're gonna have the Cornell West Theory, Leftist, SLJ, and of course Radio Rahim. It's $5, 21
No, you can't talk about money, man. Don't get me in trouble, man. It's cool. I'm
It's
glad you
free.
didn't curse. But just don't talk about money, man. Don't get me in trouble.
7 to 10 p.m. If you want to dig it, come out.
If people wanted to check you out, man, where can they find you?
You can go online to Radio Rahim online. That's Radio Rahim with an I, not two E's, online.com, and we have all kind of information there.
That's what's up, man. This is On Beat with Ohlow. We got to get out of here, man. I just want to say peace to JT, Natural E, Paki, a lot of E's over here, man, and my man ooCyn, man. This is Ohlow, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace.